In 2001, one girl's missing persons announcement ended up spawning an internet mystery that has lasted decades. Mexicans who happened to be awake and watching Channel 5 after midnight ended up being traumatized. It was time for their Servicio a la Comunidad segment or community service segment, and this is where they listed the names of missing people. And it was on like normal until they got to Selene Delgado, who was 18 at the time of her disappearance. They showed her picture, again like normal, and then suddenly it changed with no explanation. I'm gonna play that video right here.
Pedimos ayuda para localizar a Selene Delgado Lopez, de 18 años, se extravió el 22 de abril en la delegación Álvaro Obregón. Selene Delgado López se ignora su paradero desde el 28 de mayo del año 2000.
Cualquier información, favor de comunicarse a los teléfonos de Canal 5.
When her name was said, the only details that were given is how old she was when she disappeared and where she disappeared from, the municipality of Álvaro Obregón in Ciudad Mexico. Not only did the picture change, but there was also this random harsh tone with it. And none of this was ever addressed. They just moved on. But those watching were traumatized because it was a weird picture. But first, let's talk about Channel 5. This is a Mexican free-to-air network, kind of like PBS here in the US, where they play cartoons, only that at night they got very weird. But not only that, their social media was also super weird. Back when Twitter was Twitter, they were on there, and from midnight to 3 a.m. in the morning, the social media person for Channel 5, whoever was running that Twitter account, would post the weirdest things. It was always links to the weirdest videos. It wasn't their own videos. It was like things other people were making. I'll play some of them here because, again, they're so weird.
Time for lunch, munch, munch. Time for a munch, crunch.
And apparently, Infobay, this Mexican news website, tried to get a hold of the Channel 5 Twitter person, and this person claimed to have no idea why they were posting these videos. And the weirdest thing is that they would post the videos, and then around 5 or 6 a.m. when everyone else was awake, like the normal people were waking up, they would just delete these very weird videos. But back to their strangest event, Selene Delgado, which again is now an urban legend. It was November 2001 when the infamous Selene Delgado news aired. Viewers who were up at night watching it live later said that they felt so uncomfortable looking at just the normal picture of her, the normal missing person picture that was posted. That was weird to them. Her face was so generic, it creeped people out. Of course, then the change happened, and that was even weirder. When the picture changed, people claimed that their TV froze and then just stopped working and cut to static. And people started saying that it was Selene Delgado's ghost that was causing these weird interruptions on their TV. Others said that the picture was cursed and that's why this was happening. That's why the TV was freezing. And then people started saying that the picture wasn't real. It was never real to begin with, and that's why people felt so uneasy looking at it because of the uncanny valley effect. There was a wide search for her, but she wasn't found. And this led to a group of internet sleuths to really look into it. This group claimed that Selene Delgado never existed and that this whole thing was some weird experiment run by Channel 5 for no reason. This group searched the missing persons database in Mexico and there was no sign of Selene Delgado Lopez in there. And according to this group, they searched every database that existed that could show that she was a real person, and she was not named anywhere. Other than the Channel 5 missing persons report, there was no sign that Selene Delgado ever existed. And so people moved on, except the people that were awake that night that were traumatized by the original video. And then in 2020, Twitter user Diamante Negro made a thread about it, about the whole situation. And Diamante Negro connected Selene Delgado Lopez from Channel 5 to another girl who went missing in 2010. And the picture that he uploaded looked like it could be the same girl. It was the same terrible quality, and it looked like the picture was uploaded or photocopied again and again, and it just had this really bad quality to it. And this thread led to a bunch of other people covering this weird mystery on TikTok and YouTube, which revived the case, and then things got even weirder. This time, Facebook was involved. People found a Facebook page belonging to a Selene Delgado Lopez, and then people started realizing that somehow they were already friends with this Selene Delgado Lopez, even though they had no recollection of adding her. And then on top of that, there was no way to remove her from your friend list. And then people just started sharing this profile page again and again. It was shared 126,000 times. And people were saying it was haunted or cursed. But it turns out that this was a real person who had nothing to do with the Channel 5 Selene Delgado Lopez. And the reason it looked like you were already friends with her on Facebook is because she had this add friend setting disabled on her Facebook page. So it was never there. And then the reason you couldn't remove her as a friend is because you were never her friend to begin with. So this wasn't the weird mystery that people tried to make it, but then people got all paranoid about it, and the poor woman had to block her Facebook page, and it's still private to this day, I believe. But again, the question was, okay, what about the Channel 5 Selene Delgado Lopez? Who is that? And there's different theories trying to explain what happened. One of them is that she's an actual missing person, and that the reason there's lack of information on who she was or anything about her is because there's just too many missing people in Mexico, and at the time, the resources to gather this kind of data just wasn't there. And the glitches that happened, it was just because of the poor quality of TV at the time. Another theory is that she was never a real person. She was created by Channel 5 to scare their viewers and spread awareness of missing people. And there's yet another theory that she was never real, but she was created by some random person trying to prank Channel 5. And this person made her up, made her picture up, and they sent this in to Channel 5 just to see if they would air this fake information. A lot of people favor this theory because Channel 5 did keep playing her image for years. But the weird thing that just has never been explained is that random switch when it switched to the other picture. That has never happened again, but they did continue to show her missing person picture. And then people made another connection. People began to notice that the image of Selene Delgado Lopez, the one that it switched to, really resembled the composite of Derek Todd, also known as the Baton Rouge Killer, and that it became associated with Selene Delgado because of their similar facial proportions. And their explanation for this is that Selene's face was created from the composite of Derek Todd. So they say that her picture, the normal looking picture, is a fake image made of a bunch of other images, but the base of that was the composite of Derek Todd. The group of internet sleuths that I mentioned earlier, the Florecita Dreams, that's their name, they claim to have been able to reconstruct this image of Selene Delgado using some, modeling program. I don't know what they did. But they say they were able to recreate her image by putting together images of other people. And that is why her face looks so generic and made people uncomfortable to begin with. And their theory is that Channel 5 did exactly what they did for whatever reason, to do an experiment on people, to make people uncomfortable, to scare them. That part they don't know. But they believe Channel 5 made this image of Selene Delgado and that she was never real. That it was some sort of hoax or publicity stunt. And that's the legend, just an eerie video that was never explained. But surprisingly, that's not all. I found this random website. It's a blogspot website in Spanish. It looks a little sketchy, but this website in Spanish claims that the conspiracy theories and urban legend floating around Selene Delgado are not real at all, and that she was in fact a real person. This website claimed to have Selene Delgado's contact information to her mom and her sister, who reported her missing. And that the reason there's no details or anything else is because her family was very low income. They claimed that her mom was Esperanza Lopez and that her sister was Laura Delgado. And that there was a phone number that is now deactivated that was attached to her case. But that phone number belonged to a corner store that's not there anymore in the Álvaro Obregón municipality, where she went missing from. And that missing report is still active, that Selene Delgado was real and she's still missing, and that if her family's still alive, they're probably still looking for her. And unlike all the YouTube and TikTok videos around this subject, this page claims that there are several locations somewhere in Mexico with her missing file report somewhere. And this website claims that there's another website from 2006 which has limited access, and this page contains 20 entries with Selene's information. But of course, I can't find the link on that website, so I don't know. But they did share some of the information of this alleged 2006 website with limited access. According to them, Selene Delgado Lopez disappeared in the morning. She had a stalker who was homeless. Her father died when she was very young, and her mom washed other people's laundry for a living. On the day Selene Delgado Lopez went missing, another woman named Alondra also went missing. And Alondra was a sex worker who worked on the street that the Delgado Lopez family lived on. And at some point, she was considered a suspect. The blog also claims that Selene Delgado Lopez left of her own will and she was not abducted. But again, this is the only page with this information. So is it reliable? I don't know. Most people still cling on to the fact that she was never real, and this is just some random mystery that to this day has no explanation. But if this wasn't enough, there's another very weird similar case from Chicago from a few years before Selene Delgado Lopez in Mexico. And it also happened on a Channel 5, but in Chicago. And her name ends with Lopez too, so it's weird. On January 19th, 1989, WMAQ Channel 5 out of Chicago was doing public service announcements. This included things like anti-drug and meditation segments, the national anthem, which is random, and also missing people reports. So during this segment, right after the national anthem, there was complete silence and a picture that said missing, Joanna Lopez, call 312-744-5594. And this picture is extremely terrible quality. For some reason, worse than Selene Delgado Lopez's picture in Mexico. The picture was up for about 20 seconds with no sound at all, and then it went away. Pretty normal, but then 2 years later, on January 14th, 1991, WMAQ showed her photo again. It was the same video from 1989, but this time after 20 seconds, the picture went away, came back, and remained up for 6 hours. No other sound, just the image that said Joanna Lopez and then called that phone number. People claimed that they called the number and no one ever answered. And just like Selene Delgado Lopez in Mexico, that also showed up on Channel 5, there was no sign of Joanna Lopez anywhere else except this missing persons report that showed up on Channel 5 in Chicago. People claim there was no record of her, there was no police report, and it remains unsolved today. And this, of course, led people, just like Selene Delgado, it led people to believe Joanna Lopez was never real. And since the broadcast, there's been a few theories. The first one is that she was real and she was a runaway, and her parents didn't report her missing, they just sent her information to WMAQ Channel 5. The next theory is the most popular, and that's that she was never real. She never existed, and a hacker put up a random picture right after the national anthem was playing on Channel 5. And people hijacking channels, TV channels, it is a thing, so it is possible. Or people believe that the channel themselves was conducting some sort of experiment, just like with Selene Delgado Lopez in Mexico. There's another theory that she's actually a Jane Doe from a 1994 case, because they look alike, and this Jane Doe died in the area around where Joanna went missing. But the thing that doesn't hold up here are the dates. This happened after the first missing report picture was shown on Channel 5. And there's another theory that she's actually Rachel Lopez, who attended Chicago Community High School at the time that Joanna Lopez went missing. This theory is popular because the two pictures look alike and they would have been the same age. But again, the names don't match. And there's a whole subreddit, because of course there is, dedicated to Joanna Lopez, and on that page, one Redditor claims to have found Joanna Lopez and that they spoke on the phone, and that this Joanna Lopez told this Redditor that she did run away and was a runaway during the time that the picture aired on Channel 5. But the Redditor lost contact with her 2 years after making this post. They did point out that there were two missing Joanna Lopez's, the one that was shown on Channel 5 and a whole different Joanna Lopez, and this Redditor wasn't sure which one they were speaking to. The subreddit is still active, and Redditors have uploaded a high-resolution version of what the very terrible quality picture might look like, with the hopes of finding Joanna Lopez. But this just leaves the rest of us wondering, were Selene Delgado Lopez and Joanna Lopez ever real?